Okay, so our application has deployed successfully. Now let's go into the browser like this. Go to this tab. Now let me paste this here. Okay, so we have Payara server here. This particular value is coming from our properties file here using this particular key my.name. We are injecting a string property here, and then we are using the @config property from the microprofile API to get the value. Now this here, as we saw in the API, has an ordinal of 100. So another config source with a higher ordinal is going to take precedence over this. We saw earlier the Payara server platform gives you various config sources on top of the 3 that come out of the box with the Eclipse microprofile config API. So let's go into our Payara server console, which already have running. Oops, not this. Here, and then we can do something. So we are on the domain. If you come to the ordinal end here, this particular domain has 110, an ordinal of 110. The domain config source has an ordinal of 110. Now, if we store a property in the domain config source, all applications deployed to that particular domain can access that particular property. So let's do that here. Let's come to properties, domain, yes. Now let's set a property. Let's say my.name, and then let's say hello world from the domain config source. Okay, now we have another property with the same key but with a different value. The config.properties file here has the same key with a different value. However, this has an ordinal of 100, and then the domain config source we have here, this particular domain config source here, has an ordinal of 110. So this particular source here will take precedence over the other one. Now, we are not redeploying our application. We are not restarting the server. We are not doing anything. Let's refresh this particular page again. And you can see hello world from the domain config source. So once we added a second config source with a higher ordinal, automatically we have this particular config source take precedence over the one we bundled with the application, which comes to the example we set initially, that you might have a situation where in development you want one kind of data and then in production another kind of data, and that is exactly what we have achieved here. So using this and this, we are able to override what is in the properties file thanks to the higher ordinal of this particular domain class here. Now let's just, for further deepening our understanding, let's just come here again and look at another source with a higher value than this one. Let's take the application. Let's come here and then say application, and then let's pick our application. Now whatever value we store here will only be limited to our application. Only our application can access that particular key value pair in the application config source. So let's come down here and add a property. Let's say my.name, same, and then say hello world from application config source. Now let's hit save. Great. Now let's come here and then refresh this so you can see it changed again. Hello world from application config source. So this is how the concept of config sources work in the microprofile API, and then these are the various config sources here that the Payara server adds for you. There's a special one I wanted to dedicate a whole video to, which is the directory config source. So next up, let's look at this particular config source.